Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well today. In this video, I just wanted to do a quick little book haul of some books that I've ordered recently, which are nonfiction. And if this particularly interests you, let me know. I'm debating whether to split off my blog into two blogs, one for the fiction, one for the nonfiction, especially as I move towards more commentary and less review. But I don't know. For now, I'm just putting everything on the same website, classicsconsidered.com. So a topic that I've been trying to read about a lot this year is Asian history. A few years ago, I was also reading a lot about China. I mentioned CEO China and AI superpowers in a previous video. So I thought I'd get a few more books on that subject and try to learn some more about it, especially given current events and things are changing constantly in that area. First book here is The Red Years: Forbidden Poems from Inside North Korea by Bandi. This book is one I really wanted to read for quite some time, and it just came out in, let's see here. I think this came out last year. Who's Bandi? He is an author in North Korea, and some years ago, I believe it was one of his relatives, was leaving North Korea to try to escape, and Bandi, who actually writes for the North Korean government, but also writes dissident literature on the side, smuggled out some short stories and some poems with this person who was escaping. So he was taking an enormous risk. And the two books were published separately. One of them is called The Accusation, which I read a few years ago, and I really, really thought that was a great book. And then this is his poems. I've started reading them, actually. They're very grim, as you can imagine. I haven't yet found a poem that, to me, really stands out from the others, except perhaps this one called Idol, which if you read it, you know who he's talking about. Thought this was a great poem. But yeah, I haven't got even halfway yet, so I'm still reading that. I would definitely recommend the short stories if you have not read any North Korean books, because the short stories are as much nonfiction as fiction. The next book I ordered is this one called Xi Jinping, The Backlash. It's actually a paper, and it's supposed to be a summary of Xi Jinping's leadership, the relationship between China and the United States and other countries. I have not read this yet, but it looks like a good summary. I know this will probably become dated very soon, but after reading CEO China, I'm just sort of interested in all things to do with President Xi. So that should be an interesting book. This one is called We Have Been Harmonized, and it is a book by this journalist. This journalist has lived in China for decades, and so in this book he talks about the surveillance technology and what it's like there. So I thought this would be very interesting, obviously very grim, but it's just good information. And again, with books like this, obviously there's only so much we know that has been published, and every author probably has their own take on it, right? But I think the key with books like this or topics like this is just to read as many books as you can, and then you'll get a more well-rounded perspective. So that's that one. And then this one's kind of similar. This one is about, well, it kind of comes at it from a different angle. This is about North Koreans who have managed to get around the censorship with various technological methods. So in this book, it's about the network of citizens who take extraordinary risks by circulating illicit content, such as foreign films, television shows, soap operas, books, and encyclopedias. By fostering an awareness of life outside North Korea and enhancing cultural knowledge, the materials these citizens disseminate are affecting the social and political consciousness of a people, as well as their everyday lives. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to reading this. I had started it actually a couple years ago, but it was from the library and I didn't end up finishing it in time. I think this will be great. I'm really interested in how technology is being used. I'm a software developer, for those of you who don't know. I'm really interested in how software is being used both as an instrument of oppression, but also as a tool for those who are trying to fight against totalitarianism. I think both of these books together are going to kind of give me that picture. And I just think it's a good thing to be aware of. You know, we kind of take technology at face value, especially here in the West. And even though we hear about data being compromised, we hear about various surveillance systems in other countries, you know, we just sort of, we don't want to think about it too much, right? Because technology is very much international at this point. And even though we have things like, you know, our own technological infrastructure, and then China has their own infrastructure, you'll still hear cases like the recent Zoom problem, where Zoom accidentally allowed some Zoom meeting data, video conferencing data, to go through China. I don't know, just interesting topics to me, especially working in the field. And I think this gives us some good perspective on the capabilities and the implications of the kind of technology and artificial intelligence that we're experiencing today, and either enjoying it or being negatively impacted by it, maybe in ways we don't even realize. So yeah, so that's my book haul. I'm hoping to read these in the next month or two, but then I'm also trying to get back into some of the classics that I have read before and want to revisit, like Dracula and Jane Eyre and all those great ones. So yeah, you'll either be seeing reviews of this or probably Victorian Gothics in the near future. So let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know if you have any similar books you'd recommend. And I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. Thanks for watching.